seed corn and change the way that we enhance our stickiness with our seed customers. And that's a message I like taking out to the countryside. And though it may be intimidating to start on a new technology, I think as we maybe pull the veil back here a little bit and walk you through the beginning of the climate platform, you'll see the benefits in the near term and the long term for what it can do for your Renk seed customers. So with me today, I've got Nikki Smith. Nikki and I are a team for Eastern Iowa. Nikki is the field product specialist, and I play the role of the business manager. And what that means for the Iowa team is during day-to-day, it doesn't look much different, but as we think long-term about what we're doing and scheduling things, Nikki takes a training focus, and I look more towards business development. So, Nikki, you want to take a quick minute and introduce yourself again?
Sure. Like Ryan said, my name's Nikki, and I just recently joined Ryan's team here in the last few weeks. I was working in Northwest Iowa Climate, but got to come over and work with him, which I'm really excited about. And I've been in the seed business too, or egg business, I should say, for about 9 years now. So I'm excited to be with Climate. I think it's really neat, all the different things it can do, and I think it's only going to grow from here. So it's pretty impressive, and yeah, we're here to help you guys learn about it. So don't hesitate to ask any questions as we go through this today. So,
Jacob, are we ready for recording?
Yes, we are. Could we get Ted to hit his camera button? If we have that camera on, it's going to make a little screen off to the side. This way the slides will actually be pretty good. I'm trying to hit it myself, but I don't think he's fully on yet. There we go. Okay, so he's off. It looks like he's... Hey, Ted, could we get you to not share your video?
How do I do that?
There should be, if you hit that little green button next to it, see your name off to the right-hand side?
Here we go. No, it disappeared. Okay. Now what do I do?
There we go.
Okay.
And then we'll also have you on mute, and then if you want to unmute, you just hit that microphone with your name. All right. And with that, I'll turn it over to you guys.
all right, we'll go ahead and get started here. Let's see. With this, we are going to, here's kind of the agenda or things that we want to go over today, different things that Climate can bring to you guys. We have a web browser that we use, as well as a couple different apps. The main browser that we use is climate.com, and we're going to go in there and touch on a few things. And then we're also going to talk about the compatible equipment that we currently can work with as of right now. We're going to talk about the different types of subscriptions. We have 3 different tiers and what those pricings are for those. And then also talk about support contacts, who to call if you have any questions with anything, where you can find some resources and things to help you along the way. And then we're going to have Ryan walk us through some live demos on the app, on one of the apps itself. So let's see. With that, I need to pull up here climate.com. So you just go to our website, like I said, climate.com, And from there, you'll see a login button on the top right. If you click that button, well, I apologize, that goes straight to my login. We are going to open up another screen here. To get started for the first time, you want to click on that orange Get Started button, and here it's going to ask for some information to create an account. So we'll go in and I'll pretend like I'm going to create a new account here so you guys can see what that looks like.
And Renk team, this is a best practice for any customer you work with, regardless of their equipment, their setup, or what you project their utilization. These accounts are free, and there's a lot of starter information for a farmer and an operation to start to get comfortable on the platform that has no cost at all. So as we move towards this being the conversation piece in the marketplace and becoming kind of the status quo, it's important that you have created an account and help these farmers get started with essentially a no-cost solution that they'll be able to see in value over the course of time.
Yep. As you'll see, too, that there are 3 different tiers, but in order to purchase one of the other 2 tiers, you do need to go in and create this account and set up your what we call the Prime account first. So the grower will need to do that before they can go in and purchase any other subscriptions. So you just fill in your name, email address. You need to create a password, and it needs to be at least 8 characters. Phone number, the country, and then that you agree to the climate terms, and just hit create account. Oh, and look, I didn't even do my own rule. Okay. And shouldn't take too long here.
So this is a good example where Nikki created her email address. You know, there are multiple distribution points for the climate platform in the marketplace today. And if you have a farmer that you're helping set up and they don't remember if they have a climate email address or not, going through this step will tell them if their email address is a climate account already created. So it's a good way that you can have confidence if your farmers don't remember to just go through these steps and it'll sort itself out.
Yeah. So once you get logged into your account, this is what you're going to see here. This is kind of the main page, or what the grower will see. Across the top here, you've got a couple different tabs. This is your fields tab, where you can go in and add your fields or edit any fields you may have. Data, you can go in and do your scripting in there, one of the features we offer. And then you can also import boundaries, which we actually, we typically recommend if you can. If you've got files of your boundaries, we recommend bringing those in. That's the best practice. But you can also draw your boundaries too, which I'll show you here in a little bit. The next thing I want to show you is how you can share an account. So one of the nice features about Climate is when a grower goes in and has his own account, he has the option to share with a dealer or trusted advisor. And how he'll do that is he'll click on the sharing button up here under the settings tab, and it'll take him to a page where he can select if he wants to share his operation over here on the right. But it also keeps track of people they may have already shared with, or in a dealer's case, operations that have been shared with him right here. So, and the dealer also has the option to invite a farmer to share too. So there's a couple different ways to approach this. As a grower, I'm going to go in and show you guys how I would share my operation. I just type in the name of the person I want to share with, their email address. So I'll type in Ryan's here. And then you can choose to share your entire operation, or you can actually go in and choose farms to share to. Since I just created this account, though, there's not multiple fields in here. However, you can just share individual fields, or like I said, your entire operation. And the other nice thing you can do is you can decide if you want to include data with that, or if you don't want that dealer or whoever to see your yield data, you can choose to exclude that from the option. So I will go back and choose to select my entire operation and then just click the share button. And it's easy as that. Next time Ryan logs in here, he should have access to my account and be able to see my fields and data in there and help me make some decisions about my operation.
And I want to point out here, this sharing feature exists in a fully editable functionality. As a seed seller and as the Renk representative, either as the dealer or the DSM, you exist to impact positive change on your operations you work with. And this is beyond a view-only option. There isn't one in Climate Field View. We believe that if you are in a position where that farmer shares with you their account, they expect and believe you're going to help positively impact their operation. And so you get full features and benefits of their account and functionality to edit and impact change. So please take that responsibility greatly, that you can delete, you can screw up if you choose to delete things. So understand this isn't a view only. You're actually operating inside of their account. And I don't say that to shock you or scare you. It's certainly not that scary. But you need to understand the responsibility that comes with that edit feature and what that means for your farmers in terms of benefit. So thanks, Nikki.
Yeah. The one other thing I'll point out here is the nice thing is this isn't set in stone. So once you do share with somebody, if for some reason you want to remove that sharing or even change what you're sharing, you can always go back and do that as well. So, all right. So I'm going to go back to my main page here, the fields, and, okay. And I'm going to show you guys now how you can purchase a subscription if you want to do an upgrade either to our Plus or Pro. You just click on the upgrade button over here on the top right, and that'll bring up the page showing the different tiers that you can select from. The first one it's going to show will be the Prime, which we've already signed up an account and have that. So that's right here. And with that feature, you get your basic data layers, and you get data inbox. So that's where I was talking. You can actually bring in your field boundaries there. You get field level weather. So on each field, you can go in and see what the weather is doing as far as rain goes. You get a scouting feature. You can go in and drop pins on your fields and share that with your dealer or with a grower for scouting, and then notifications too. So such as rainfall amounts, you can get messages for that. With our Plus subscription here, this is our first tier, and it's a $7.49 per year subscription. So it's 365-day subscription from the time you purchase it. And it's for unlimited acres. So you can use this across your entire operation. You get all the same features as Prime, plus you also get field health. This is our imagery that we provide. We have a contract with 2 different satellite providers, and we can provide vegetative and scouting imagery on your fields. And we provide pictures approximately every 8 to 11 days, I think it is. We also have our manual scripting. This is where you can go in and customize your seeding prescriptions and put in the hybrids, your population, all that, and create maps. We also have our yield analysis. This allows you to see seed performance across different soil types, across all of your fields and your field region so that you can pick the best seed for the next season. Your data connectivity, this is where if you have compatible equipment, we can put a drive in your equipment and do live mapping to collect all this data. And we can also do data inbox too if you have the right monitors to bring in data manually. And then this again is your in-cab visualization. So you get that mapping in your cab while you're planting, combining, or spraying, whatever that might be.
And I want to jump in, Nikki. The FieldView Plus platform for customers that are on Precision Plantings hardware setup it is critical for them if they want to have the same features and benefits that they've enjoyed in the past. That FieldView Plus subscription is required to have split screen and some of the cab app features. So if you have farmers that are currently using precision planting in 2020 in the cab, if they enjoy what they're currently using for cab features, they need to be on at least Plus. So
Right.
it might help you sort out cooperators for plots and, contacts to talk to about this, because they might be a couple steps ahead and have some experience with FieldView as you guys look to launch.
Okay. All right, and then our next tier up, it's called our Pro.
So Nikki or Ryan?
Yeah.
Nikki or Ryan, additional equipment costs that would be involved in the Plus?
Yep.
Yeah, scroll down, Nikki.
Yep. So down here you have your drive starter package. So this is the actual drive that you would need to connect into if you're going to connect to your CAN port or your diagnostic port. And then you can also get a mounting kit for your iPad and with that. Otherwise, you can just purchase the drive here. The drive runs $249. So
so most everybody would require both of these. Is that right? Plus the cost to be a part of Climate Plus, correct?
Yeah, so we have our pricing strategy is set up that we sell our subscription separate from our hardware. So there's options that exist for a farmer to get on the platform and not have any connectable equipment. So they can still be using our service and our tool. It just wouldn't be real time. We do believe that for equipment setup that allows for cab connectivity, the best opportunity to maximize this tool is with real-time data connectivity. So that would require hardware purchase as well from FieldView. But like Nikki showed on the screen, it's all a la carte. And so if you could scroll down just a little further, Nikki, you can see we have some other devices and hardware options that allow farmers and dealers to kind of select what they exactly need. So.
Yeah. A couple other things I'll point out here. Yeah, you have the iPad case, and then we do have adapter cables as well for different things. We have a new cable now, so if you have a John Deere 2600 or 2630 monitor, but the tractor is not compatible, this allows you to connect the drive directly to the monitor. And then we have what we call a pigtail cable too for the case monitors that would be needed to connect those. So
just walking you through an example that I like to use to bring this home. If a farmer has a Starfire receiver, a 2600 or a 2630 monitor, and a 1770 or any compatible planting planter, that farmer could have that all run through a 4020 without a cab, and he would be able to map on the go with the FieldView system, because we're able with that pigtail and that adapter cable to bypass the tractor's CAN system. That doesn't mean, that opens up the equipment wide open, but there still has to be a Starfire, a 2630, 2600, and compatible implement. So it gives us a wider range of tractor options, but there's still some qualifiers that exist for that system to work. Does that open up the market for the farmers you guys work with? Does that give you more options, do you feel like, if that tractor doesn't have to be a disqualifier?
I think it's something that the guys just need to ask the questions as they are involved in the interview there.
Okay.
Keep going, Nikki.
All right. So our next feature tier is our Pro. This is offered at a $14.99 per year subscription. Again, it's the 365 days from the purchase date. And this goes up to 2,500 acres. So if a grower farms more than that and would like to have Pro on those acres, you can see here the next level is 2501 to 4500 at 3000, and then 4501 to above and beyond that is 5000. So there are limits on the subscription, and they just need to decide what they want to do. But even if they farmed, 4,000 acres and maybe he just wanted to try it on the 2,500, this is a great way to do that first level here and try it out and see what you think of it. And the other option too is they can order just for individual fields. So if they have, say 2,600 acres, they can purchase this plus one more additional field to go with that. So Pro has all the features of Prime and Plus. The two additional things that they get is our advanced scripting tool. So this allows you to build and execute a variable rate prescription, and it uses our Gen 5 data that we have to help make population recommendations. So you'll enter in the hybrids, some economical information such as price per bag and price of corn at the time, and it's going to spit out a prescription for you with an estimate of what that population should be across those different zones. And the nice thing is it brings it to you as a recommendation, but it's not set in stone. You can go in and adjust those if you feel the need. If there's a certain part of that field that you just know wouldn't be worth putting that extra seed on, you can back it off. And then if there's another zone that you know you can really push to the limit and get good yield out of it, then maybe you want to up that a little bit. So it is editable. And then our next feature we get with the Pro is our nitrogen monitoring tool. So we use this, or say it's kind of like a risk management tool. So we have the growers put in their information, put in their application, and then it predicts what that nitrogen availability is going to be at Black Layer. So gives you a good idea of what maybe you need to do as far as additional applications, or if you need to change anything up. So Brian, was there anything you wanted to add on that?
Yeah, so one thing I want to point out, we sell it in tiers. And so from the very beginning, a farmer can go from Prime to Plus for $7.49. They can experience that for a couple of weeks and then call you back and say, I'd really like to have Pro. They would then upgrade to Pro for an additional $750. So when you scroll back up, Nikki, our pricing is tier dependent, but you wouldn't necessarily have to go straight to Pro in the beginning. A farmer would be able to stair step, and it would be a total purchase of $14.99, but it wouldn't be an additional purchase of $14.99. So scroll back up, would you, for me, Nikki?
Up or down?
Up to where the prices are.
I'm up there. Can you guys not see the prices? At the top here, you got the Prime, the Plus, and the Pro.
There we go. Now we're there.
Okay.
So just be clear on that. $14.99 would be the max a farmer would pay for up to 2,500 acres of. I choose to use corn because corn is where we can get the best value out of that Pro offer. So again, you can have customers sign up for $7.49 this spring. Once nitrogen season comes around and they're maybe more interested in that as an offering, they can, for another $750, upgrade to Pro, and then their total investment would be $14.99 plus equipment. So let's keep moving, Nikki, to the checkout screen.
Hey, Ryan,
and show them
Ryan,
what payment options they have. Yeah, go ahead.
Ryan, I got a question. So how does the grower pay for this?
Yep, that's right. You're walking us right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No,
Go ahead
good.
and.
So I selected the Plus subscription here, guys, and then I'm going to go ahead and select one field drive. And what's nice is when you select a drive, it's going to ask you for your equipment to make sure that it's compatible. So you can go in here and double check that, and we're good to go. And at the bottom here, you can see your subtotal. And then once you get everything in there that you'd like, You can hit checkout, and this should take you to the payment page. So from here, you can select whether you want to pay credit, checking account savings, and enter in the information. Now this is what the grower will see if they go in and pay for it themselves, or and order it themselves. Now, if they're with a dealer and the dealer goes in and orders it for them, not only will the dealer get credit for that sale, but the dealer will have the option to pay for it, so he can invoice himself if he wants to take care of that bill or work it out with the grower later. Or he also has the option to invoice or to bill grower later. So in that case, the next time the grower would go to log into his account, it'll ask for his credit card to pay for that subscription. So there are a couple
Nikki,
different... Oh, go ahead.
I've got a question. First, with the Climate Field View Drive Starter Package, that does not include a Field View Drive. They would have to order that separately, right?
We don't offer the starter package anymore. Is that correct, Ryan? I think we offer.
No, you're talking about the hardware. You added a drive, Nikki.
Yep, I did. I'm sorry. So
back.
Yes, that's the.
Okay, that part was confusing to me because if you said you're only going to go with one drive, then you shouldn't have to add another one, right?
Right, correct. I apologize. Yes, that's confusing. So yep, that gets me my mounting kit for the iPad as well as the drive. And then this would be the drive right down here, the $249. So, and one other thing to keep in mind is once you purchase our software through the website here, it is an auto renew. So it will be renewed at 365 days from that purchase point. And the grower will receive, as well as the dealer, would receive emails reminding them that their subscription is about to renew and that it's coming due. If they don't want to have that set up on their account, then they could call into support and they could remove that. But unfortunately, there's not a way for them to remove that online.
So I want to just talk a little bit about the payment options, and depending on the business development we choose to do with Renk and how Jen and you guys have it set up, there would be an opportunity for whether it be at your farmer dealer level or at the Renk seed dealership or seed company level, for you guys to have different choices of whether you want your farmers to pay online or if you want it to be EFT'd. And what that essentially means is the Climate dealer has a bank account set up with Climate, and what that allows for us to do is not only pay the dealer but also be reimbursed. So we can automatically withdraw funds 45 days after purchase date. And what that helps everybody with is it really streamlines accounts receivable and takes away some of the pain of trying to go out and do collections. But as Nikki pointed out here, farmers and dealers have a choice on how they pay for this service. And if you'd like to have it as a line item on a seed invoice and you just want the farmer to write you a check, that's perfectly acceptable, as well as if you'd like them to put their credit card information in on the portal, that also takes care of it. So we've got a couple of choices, and as we go into business conversations or with you and Jen or if I participate, we can talk more about what fits best for your guys' market strategy and how you'd like your farmers to interact with you. So we don't have to answer that today, but I want to make sure you guys see there's options and there's a lot of flexibility this way.
Okay. So as you scroll down here, you can see it's going to ask for some shipping information too. Shipping is free, but if you want it expedited, then it's an additional $30. And then you'd simply just place the order once you have everything in your cart that you want, and your subscription will become live fairly quickly, and then the hardware will be shipped to you as well. And then there will be an email confirmation that goes out. So if the dealer does the ordering, both the dealer and the grower will receive an email confirmation, and we'll get copies. We'll have that on file. So that's pretty much it for the ordering. And The next thing I was going to show you is go into how to add fields. Is there any more questions
So
about
Nikki,
Yeah,
Nikki,
I got one
I
question.
just wanna,
Yep.
yeah. So-
how does it work?
so what-
how does it work for a dealer to actually get credit for it then? Are we supposed to be paying for it and then we're supposed to be getting reimbursed for it by the grower, or what?
So that's a business conversation that Renk needs to have. Depending on if you have farmer dealers, the farmer dealer can go ahead and initiate the order, and depending on farmer preference, they can either pay with a credit card by having the dealer select grower pays later. Like Nikki mentioned, a farmer can then go into their account and pay with a credit card. Dealer would get commission on that, or the dealer, if the farmer just wants it as a line item on seed.
Okay.
If a dealer wants it on a line item on seed, then the farmer can have a check written to the seed dealer and the climate dealer, and it can be all EFT.
Okay, thank you.
So there's options that way.
So Nikki, my question goes back to the starter drive package. What exactly does that starter drive package include? Does it include a field drive?
Yes. So right here, you get the drive and the kit.
Okay.
Yep. So I had selected that, and then I had selected this too. So no, you wouldn't need the drive. If you want a mounting kit though to put your iPad in and your equipment, then this would be the way to go right here.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, that's my fault. I made that confusing. But yep, and then so there you go. Yep, you have just one drive and one mounting kit, and then your subscription. So
I just wanted to review with the other participants here if they didn't know how to unmute so that they could ask a question. If you see the green bar at the top of the screen and you press the red button, something will come up and it will say, it will give you options, and it will be a mute me or an unmute me, just so that guys understand that they can jump in and ask a question anytime. I just want everybody to make certain that they have all of their questions asked during the session.
absolutely. Okay. I'm going to go into my account on climate.com to show you how to add fields here. Let's see, I'm going to close out of this one. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take you guys, so this is the page that we were at earlier. We didn't have any fields over here because we hadn't brought any in. But there are a couple, like we said, a couple different ways that you can put fields into your account. One would be if you did have that drive and ran that in your equipment, there is a way you can, if you wanted to map your fields, you could bring in the boundary that way. Otherwise, we typically like to have guys import their boundaries. So you click on that import button there at the top, and it's going to bring in or bring up the page for the data inbox. So with this, you want to go to upload file and have your files ready on the desktop or somewhere on your computer to bring that in. And so I'm going to show you here what that looks like. One thing we have to do before we bring in a file is it needs to be zipped. That just kind of takes all the fluff out of it, if you want to say, and just make sure that the important stuff that we need is brought up through that upload. So how you zip a drive is you just right-click. Let me go to my desktop here. You right-click on the item.
How do you make a file?
If you bring it in from a monitor, like your like a 2600, 2630, you bring that in through a thumb drive, and you can put that then into a folder here onto your computer. And then you would simply do a right click on it, and compress is what my computer looks like, but most people would probably be a zip. And it just makes an identical copy of that folder with an actual zipper on it.
So the reason we zip files is because of the size of the data, and it formats something that allows for the climate server to read it quickly and to move the file more efficiently over the internet. The thing that's very exciting and also a neat feature of the climate platform is we do all this data ingestion off the computer that you're currently on. It's simply a terminal to the climate server, and so once a farmer imports their data, it goes right over the internet up to their cloud account, and it's processed. And that's a pretty fast process considering where we've been in the past with local software and the time it would take just to churn data locally. Now we're able to do that over the internet and with some speed. So,
Yep.
Nikki, it looks like your screen is goofy. Does everybody else see that?
Do you see
There it
my?
is.
Okay.
Yep, we're good now.
I think there must be a delay. So right now I've got my Jefferson folder open, and in here you can see I've got some soil grid sampling that I could bring in. I've got planting data and the boundary. And I actually, for this demo, I already brought the boundary in, so I'm going to cancel out of this. So in our data inbox here, once you select on what you want to bring in, it will it'll upload it into, I like to call this kind of the holding tank. So it's technically not in Climate yet. It's just brought it into the inbox here. And it'll tell you across the top here that it's processing, and then it'll let you know when it's complete, and your files will show up here. Now, notice the tab here, this field is highlighted with a 1, so that's where our boundaries fall into. What's nice is you can bring in multiple files at a time, and Climate knows to designate those, whether it falls under soil test, whether it's planting data, or whether it's harvest data. So on this one, this is the field boundary for this farm that I brought in. And with that, sometimes you can bring in all sorts of data, and maybe some of it you don't want to use. That's what's nice about this inbox, is it allows you to pick and choose what you do want to bring in, or if you have duplicates or something, you don't want to bring all those in. So you can just look it through your data, select which ones you want to bring in, and then you click the import button right over here.
And that's an important step, guys. Write this down if you've got a notepad with you. Write upload and import. Upload and import, because oftentimes, you know, it's very common, the occurrence that a farmer or a seed individual has a concern about why their information isn't in the account. It's because they uploaded it, but they never went and completed the process through import. So make sure that you just have that starred. If data inbox is a way that you see value in getting your histories, planting and harvest into your farmers' accounts, make sure you value upload and import.
Yep. That's a good point. The other thing I'll point out is, like I said, if you bring in multiple files through here and you do choose to upload, say, only a handful of them, the others will remain in this inbox. So if you decide later on, maybe you do want to bring those in, you can always come back in here and you won't have to upload them again. You just import them into Climate. Otherwise, you do have the option to select and delete those from your inbox as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys for this boundary. I'm going to import that into my account. You can see up here, it's kind of giving you an update of what's happening. It says that it's complete, and then notice that it's no longer in the inbox. So we can close out of this, and we go over here to my list, and it appears right here, Jefferson Center. So there is the boundary and the field that we just imported. And if you need to go in, you can always edit the field if you'd like. If you need to, you can merge fields, you can split fields. And if you need to change the boundary, you click on this lower right-hand button here that says Edit Field, and it brings up all these little dots that you can move around to adjust your boundaries. One thing I will tell you, though, if you have a field in an account and it already has planting or harvest data tied to it. This one does not. It's strictly just a field boundary. You can move and change the boundary all you want. If you have harvest and planting data tied to it, you want to be really careful about adjusting those boundaries, because if you move them in and say downsize that field, you're going to lose any of that data that was part of that field that you just removed. So keep that in mind. You just really want to be careful when adjusting field boundaries because you can lose that data. That's why I always tell guys it's best to get your field boundaries in first and do any adjusting that you need, make sure they all look right, and then go ahead and bring in your other data that you want. Over here on the left, you can see you can also change the field name, the client name, and the farm name, and it'll give you the approximate acres for that field as well. Any questions on that? The other thing I was going to show you quick is if you don't have a file that has your boundaries in it, you can make your own boundary as well. So you just simply click this add a field down here on the bottom left, and it's loading boundaries. So it's pulling in the CLU boundaries for this area that I was zoomed in at. If you're in a different area though, you simply type in the zip code or address, and it'll take you to that area. But once you're where you want to be, you just click on whichever field that you want to make as part of your account, and then we can zoom in here. And notice it put lines around that field and dots, just like the other field had when I showed you. And again, you can make any changes that you want. You can move these out. You can delete them. And then once you're got your boundary to where it is, you want to make sure you put in a field name, client name, farm name, and let's see, we'll put it in so you can see.
Nikki, once you get this field saved, why don't you show them how to cut out that waterway?
Okay. So we'll click save. Got my field in. The other nice thing, like Ryan just said, you can do all sorts of things to make your acres more accurate. With this one, I can show you how to remove your waterway. So you see this waterway right in here. If you click along that waterway as best as you can, you get to the end, and you double click, or you click that last dot again, it'll ask you what the approximate width is of that waterway. So I'll say it's 25 feet, and it automatically draws a boundary out of that waterway, and it took my acres from 107 to 105. And a good practice is once you get that done, still zoom in and kind of fine tune your waterway. So try to get the boundary as accurate or as close to that waterway as you can, because obviously you want to get your data, your boundaries accurate so that you have the right amount of acres, and it'll definitely help things when you're doing prescriptions later as well. So
this is
I won't do all of it.
This is not a best practice compared to uploading shape files from monitors. So farmers that drive their boundaries, that is a best practice, like Nikki said. I value these tools for the opportunity to improve our field health imagery. So when we have uncropped areas that are not part of that field, we need to cut them out so that the green grass or the alfalfa, whatever that is in that field, doesn't impact our imagery. Another thing I wanted to be clear on is these boundaries are soft boundaries, and these do not control your row shutoffs regarding any type of variable scripting, okay? So that occurs in the monitors, and through the driven boundaries, these do not impact that. So this is for acres and for imagery. But again, best practice, make sure if it is available, let's use the driven boundaries through Data Inbox. So
Exactly. Okay.
So Nikki, let's let's jump over and run through some of the compatible equipment right now.
Okay. All right. We'll just jump in to our compatible equipment. Again, this is just an overview of our pricing that we went over in climate.com. And so what Climate's about is obviously getting all your data in one place, and how we do that is we use the iPad, and so for our apps, both the cab app and the Field View app. So there is some criteria we ask of the iPad. We do need the newer iPad with the lightning power adapter, and it needs to have at least 64 gigabytes of internal storage, and then cellular data enabled is a good thing to have as well. If you want to splurge for the 128 gigabyte, especially if you're going to be doing pictures and other games on the iPad, that would be a good way to go, just to have a little extra storage on there. So what we want to do is get all of our data in one system, centralize it. And so we showed you the data upload and the connected cabs there. Here's our current equipment compatibility. So as of right now, this is what we have that we can use with our drive. Connect that into the CAN port. So we have the Combines Deere and Case 2004 and newer on the Deeres, and the Case 2009s and newer. Planners are Deere, again, the 2004s, and then with the Cases, it's just back to the 2012s. And the tractors are Deere 2004 newer and Case 2006. And then you can see the required display and GPSs that are needed in order to do that. So, Ryan, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so this is specific to connectable equipment through FieldView Drive. And I don't want you to look at that list and say, well, some of my operators have different equipment than that. We still have the ability through this system to analyze data and to get the features and benefits out through the manual data inbox process. So if a tractor planter combination isn't on this list that you work with, and they're mapping data through an Ag Leader, a Pro 700, 600, or a John Deere monitor, we can still data inbox that information. But what we're looking at here currently, we're looking at what's available to go live through FieldView Drive.
All right.
So if a grower does not have an iPad and he uses another platform of a tablet, he really does need an iPad then. Is that your feeling?
Yeah, to go live in the cab, we're only compatible with FieldView Cab and FieldView Drive. We're only compatible with an iPad. Now, a farmer,
okay.
and once I get into showing you the different apps, a farmer can use an Android device or any other tablet option out there from Google Play for FieldView. That's a different app and kind of a different set of functions. But in cab with Drive, it must be an iPad. So that's not an option. It's not negotiable. A farmer needs to have an iPad for that. So
okay, thanks.
Keep going, Nikki.
Okay. And then new for this year, we did get the Deere 20, 30, and 40 and R series for sprayers compatible. So now we can put our as-applied maps into FieldView as well. We do have some Case 20, 30, and 40 series, and the map layers you can get from that, like I said, are as-applied. You can get enter in the speed and then the date for those as well. We do have some pull-type sprayers, as you can see, and some air seeders too. And keep in mind, this list is always changing and growing. We obviously want to get as much equipment compatible with our platform as possible. So there are a lot of different equipment brand types that are in beta testing. And so this, like I said, this list is always changing, and we hope to get everything out there that we possibly can added so that it's compatible with our platform. So, so like Ryan mentioned earlier, even though a grower doesn't have the equipment that's compatible with our system, that's great. If he does, he can do that mapping. Otherwise, he still gets the benefits of the subscription and everything Ryan's going to show you here in a little bit off the FieldView app. There's so much there that they can utilize and help with their operation. And how they can do that is through that inbox that I showed you, and in the different monitors or things that we can pull from right now are the Case 600 and 700 Pro monitors, and then we also do John Deere 2600, 2630, and then we do Ag Leader, Insight, and Integra, and then we can also pull from the SMS full backup. So any grower that has those monitors, we can take that data from them and upload them into our system, and then they're still going to get all those features that Ryan's going to show you here in a little bit on the FieldView app. So it's just a different way of collecting that data and getting it into the system. But it is another possibility. So,
can I ask a question of the group? What's the operations center usage out of your business? Are there farmers that are using My John Deere and John Deere's cloud connectivity?
In my territory, which is southwest Wisconsin, there's a lot of New Holland and Case combines, and not as many John Deere's. So.
Okay.
Rick Bortz, what do you have there in Iowa, central Iowa?
Rick would probably have more John Deere.
There's a lot of John Deere equipment down here. Yeah.
So I want to touch on two things, and I'm really glad, Kristen, you brought this up, because I don't spend a lot of time in the Wisconsin market, and in my market, I just have this common assumption that the New Holland equipment and Case are relatively similar in their infrastructure. And so to touch on that, we should go live with an approved New Holland option here by this fall. I worked with New Holland's this last fall with FieldView Drive. I couldn't tell you the model numbers specifically, but they were flagship New Holland's, and we had a fairly successful launch, even though it wasn't approved for commercial. So I would stay in tune with Jen Danner on that and where we're at with New Holland. Regarding John Deere and Rick's business in central Iowa, any farmer that's got their information on their operations center, it is a relatively fast move from Ops Center over to FieldView. So if they've got machines that are pushing up that way, we can handle that data coming over in shape files and provide for a very seamless onboarding experience for your current John Deere customers. So I just wanted to touch on that. Thanks for bringing that New Holland piece up, though.
All right. Next slide here just talks a little bit about our current partner API capabilities. So we are working with some other companies on helping getting information back and forth. We know our growers are working with others, and so we want to be able to make it more seamless for them to get their data in between those. And with that, here are some of the retailers and connectivity agreements we have, just so we can, again, get that data connectivity more seamlessly across all of these for our growers. And then here's our resources. If you guys were to have any questions, or once growers get signed up, here are some of the places you can go to look for things. We do have a YouTube climate link that you can go to and see all sorts of videos on, all sorts of videos on how-tos for everything in climate, just about. And then again, our climate.com website that I was on. Once the dealer is signed in there, in his portal, there is a resources tab. He can go in there and they've got how-tos, one-page PDFs on all the different features of climate. And then you can also download those PDFs into your iBooks if you have an iPad, so that's something to keep in mind as well. And then Dropbox. The resource is climate@gmail.com and the password is climate123. There's a lot of good information in there as well for you to look at and for growers to reach out to as well if they need any more explanation on anything. And then obviously our support hotline is always willing to help as well. This is something this is our kind of our go-to. We tell everyone if they have any questions about they're having technical issues or even need help working through something, learning something. We have people on the line all the time. We're willing to work with growers, dealers, and answer any questions they may have and help them fix anything too that they may have come across in their system. So this is their number. And then, like I said, you got climate.com, YouTube, and we're even on Twitter and Facebook. So are there any questions about anything we've covered so far? After this, I believe we're going to jump into the live demos with Ryan.
So what about your number and Ryan's number? Would you be able to provide those to us?
We get that a lot. Ideally, we really want people to go to the support hotline. That's the number one place. Ryan, what do you want to say to that?
Yeah, so the roadmap right now, especially for the Renk brand, is to get to a place where you guys are starting to build this fire, and we will work to develop a local expert amongst your team and provide that boots on the ground approach, and that's going to take a little time. So we believe that this product is best served through the brand experience that Renk provides, and we want to make sure that local expert comes from within your ranks. And so I think it always adds benefit and value to the seed purchase decision if that climate expert is also the guy that I buy my corn from or is somebody associated with the company I buy my corn from. So that's where we're at with that. Support does an excellent job. They've added a lot of different buttons and features to get you to the right person faster. And so I would use that as my starting place for anything that you need. So we also have a team on the ground in Wisconsin that'll eventually be kind of expanding and working in a different way. So let me keep pointing you to that 888-924-7475 number as your best option right now. So.
Yeah, Ryan, if I might throw in there, in all fairness to you guys, this is really, they've got people manning those phones. They're there, ready, willing, and able to help you out. So if you're ever caught in a tight spot and you need an answer real quick, that's really the best avenue to go, I think, Ryan, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing, when we uncover things and all inevitably there's something that gets quirky or what we call buggy, having the number of hits from the customers that call in and let us know that issue allows us to escalate those problem solving much quicker, because then we have a true understanding of what that's impacting. And if everybody were to call people in the field to try to fix things, the true programmers and developers wouldn't have a crack at it. So that's where I'll share that with. So if there's no other questions, I've not done this before. So I'm going to really try to be patient with my app utilization. And let me take the share screen. So what I need from you guys is if, similar to with Nikki, if our screen doesn't keep up with me, I want to make sure I'm not beyond. So please tell me if what I'm talking about doesn't match with what you see. So is my screen being shared?
No, not yet, Ryan.
It says I'm the presenter. Is that accurate?
I've got that it's just back to the basic screen where it shows climate training and that you are the host now.
Yeah, Ryan, you just need to share your screen and it should pop up.
So I go up to File, Share My Screen.
There, it's coming up right now.
All right.
There we go.
Okay, we got
Do you see Lucy, Nikki?
I do.
All right, that's Lucy. See. So I want to point out here, and again, keep me on task with how fast things are moving. The Field View app is the second app from the bottom and second from the right. You see it with the Climate F. That is the Field View app. I'm going to slide over in the bottom right app. That is the Field View Cab app. They're two different apps. They're two different access points to your data. And the difference is one is utilized almost completely in cab, and one of them is used across all platforms, whether they're Droid or Apple, and is more analytical in nature. So let me jump into the Field View app. Nikki, are we on the overview screen?
Yes, we are.
All right, so this is the bread and butter of Climate Field View. This is taking that benefit of all your data in one place and displaying it to you in a way that's actionable and that can impact change in a timely manner, even when you're sitting having coffee in the morning. So from this dashboard, you can see my name in the top right corner. I can select that, and I can investigate any account that's shared with me and help them understand what's going on in their operation in a different way. As a Renk DSM, have you ever wanted to travel less miles and impact more change with less road time? Do you have a constraint on the amount of time you can spend in the field scouting crops, and you're looking for ways to impact the business more efficiently? This tool can do that for you. By getting connected with those you do business with, by maximizing the benefits of doing business with Renk, allowing you to spend more time on high-value tasks, this tool will make you more money and help sell you more seed because it's going to sort through some of the muddle. And let me show you that. So I can go ahead and from this dashboard, if my customers are on nitrogen with FieldView Pro, I can take a look at that status, identify people that are in a deficit or an issue. From Field Health, I can dig in and from a dashboard view, I can take a look at all the fields that are in my operation or in my business if I'm connected with them, and I can look at vegetation maps or I can look at scouting maps. The scouting maps, those are changing over time, and I can get into that if there's some interest on why the colors are what. But this tool, from right here, this is where we can really let the rubber meet the highway. As a seed seller, you can not have to own that agronomic expertise, but you can help promote agronomic awareness through this tool. So let's jump into yield analysis over here in the top right corner. This is where we can sort the same data farmers might be currently looking in 3-ring binders. We can sort it with a couple clicks of our button. We can look at different years. So any of your customers or dealers carry their last 4 years of yield data with them in their pickup? How about you guys? Do you guys carry the last 4 years of yield results to show the rank difference to your customers? More than likely you don't. And with FieldView, you can take all that information and build confidence in the product story that you want to tell with multiple years and lots of data points that are in an easy to deliver format. So with yield analysis, we can now look and we can separate here. We can move beyond fields and we can start to sort by hybrids. So I can go ahead and sort hybrid performance up and down. I can dive into a Renk product and see what fields that Renk product is on. Let's go ahead and just jump into that. That's probably the best way to do it. I'm into a Renk field of 776 Smart Stacks, and now I can see its performance on different soil types from top to bottom. Over years and over your experience, this can help not only show, but add to your telling farmers where to best position their Renk products. And I think that's a tremendous tool that when we move beyond just like using words and we're able to demonstrate and show them the same message you've been sharing, that builds credibility and moves people to action much faster. So let's go ahead and jump into the yield map here. So if I want to look at a yield map, I come down to the bottom and I click Fields. I'll select.
Would it also be able to tell you if it was been corn on corn or corn on soybeans or anything like that also, or no?
Well, yep, absolutely. Let me show you that. So in data, up in practices, if you spend time with your farmers or your dealers spend time with your farmers building this as their one-stop shop for agronomic information, we can understand prior crop, tillage system, and manure practices that can allow you to have a better understanding of performance. So I want to show you an example here quick. So I'll jump back into Yield Analysis Center. I'll go to 2015. I'll look at Renk. If I want to send this side by side, you know, this two-product field to my Renk agronomist, I could send it this just like this. I can jump a PDF and shoot it off. Okay, we can see the difference. This 791 SSTX is 10 bushel better than the 776. But let's go ahead and look at that a little bit differently. So I'm going to go ahead and crank up my, well, I'll just show you this example right here as I have it, and then I'll change it. What I'm showing a farmer right here, I used this example yesterday, was to help a farmer uncover profitability. So this field right here, the break-even was 176 bushels per acre. And what I was able to do is show a farmer what areas of the field didn't break even and help them visualize that differently, not only in 2015, but in 2016 while we were just sitting there together. But let me go ahead and crank that up. And get a new yield map here. Are you staying with me, Nikki? Is the image continuing to go well?
Yep, it looks good.
Okay. So we'll rebuild the yield map. I'm going to just jump back to Yield Analysis Center so I can make sure I know my numbers correctly here. So the 791 was 10 bushels better, okay? Everybody remember that for me. 791 was 10 bushels better on the farm average. But when I go ahead and I drop in the planting map, and I want to do a field region report, so this index, do you guys see the key down at the bottom right corner? You see what looks like a target, a pin, and a circle? When I hit that circle, I can come up here now and draw a side-by-side, and I'm not even on a yield map, I'm on a planting map. What did I say and what did we send the agronomist about this field? Does anybody remember which product actually won? The 791 was the winner of the head-to-head field average. As a farmer, And as a seller, oftentimes that's as far as we look. But in this situation, if we actually go to the area of the field that's highly productive, that area that was making the farmer money, we would make a completely different decision on which Renk product to use. Not only does the FieldView platform change the game for when we win and what we place products, but it'll change the game when we lose, and that farmer gives us an average. We can now better understand the reasons and the whys and come up with better conclusions for why that happened and be more sticky and more long-term with that farmer than just being kicked off the farm because we lost on a head-to-head one situation. What benefit could that have, guys, as we look forward to this upcoming seed season and harvest to be able to show product performance in a different way than the farmer's used to looking at? So this is one example where FieldView can help us identify true performance. I'll jump back and show you the harvest layer. Can we all see that that is under pivot and that a significant portion of that that losing hybrid was out on dry land? That's not really an apples to apples comparison, but oftentimes farmers pass that off as what occurred. So let me look at another Renk field here. I'll go to 2016 and I'll show you the planting map. This could be a common occurrence for your Renk customers. 3 Renk products trying to sort out which ones were the best. So one way that I could sort out which ones were the best was to do a field region report around the entire field. That would give me information on soil type, population, and product. And I can sort through, just like in Yield Analysis Center, I can sort through anywhere there's an arrow, I can add a click. If I want to look at a certain population, I can see what those products did at a certain population. It changes the way we talk about our seed. But let's go beyond this and let's help impact change agronomically. So this is a scouting map of that same field delivered September 5th. This farmer was on FieldView Plus. This farmer was on FieldView Plus and chose to do a side-by-side with some fungicide application. Using Field Region Report, you can help that farmer after the season uncover what occurred and what the benefits were. So in this situation, it looked like the 776 was 244, and in that fungicided application area, that farmer had a 242 bushel response. Well, did that pay for the fungicide? Let's check the strip. I can now, without being there with a weigh wagon, post-harvest or live during harvest, if this information is available through cellular data, I can now understand that that farmer, what's the difference there in yield performance? Can anybody tell me what that is? It's almost 30 bushel difference in that spot between fungicide with and without. And we can also see the difference in our product and help make better choices that way as well. I think it's interesting when we can help farmers understand our product just a little bit better beyond what the seed guide says, beyond what our agronomist said in a meeting, but with real life information that comes from their operation, that changes the game for you as sellers and for the stickiness of that customer, because you're packaging the information in a way that's different.
So I have a question on this. Back when you showed the different soil types and the different yields, was that just information from that farmer's program, or have you linked in other farms growing the same product and what they had?
So you're talking about
sandy soil. Yeah.
You're talking about this yield analysis?
Yes.
So yield analysis is operation dependent. So if if you see up in the name, the top right corner, it says Ryan Eklund. That's
Right.
my account. So I'm just looking at the fields in my account. If you have 3 of your sellers shared with you and all the plots are in field view and you select all operations, that information that you're looking at here in Yield Analysis Center is everything that rolls up to you. So you can start to understand on a broader perspective product performance on individual fields.
Okay.
So that is an option, but I spend most of my time, team, focusing on that individual farmer's operation and how I can make changes and improve with their information, because every farm is a little bit different and every practice is a little bit unique to that operation. And I think there's a lot of value, and as we collect years of data, 2, 3, 4, of these Renk products over time, it helps improves your story. Let me jump back to that. No, I'm at this point, and go ahead.
Sorry, I forgot too. Can you import your soil test on here too, or not yet?
Yep, so we can import soil tests. Let me show you what those would look like. We're importing organic matter, C, and pH right now. So I'll go to this farm, and I can look at the soil tests. We extrapolate that information from the points, and then under any year you can see the data layer. And this information is what improves our nitrogen tool. So there's the soil test information. I don't think I have yield data on this account. Let me check. I do. So I can do field region reports by pH if I'm interested in that. I can do yield by organic matter. You know, this greatly expands our ability to do side-by-sides and understand performance. Something that I point out oftentimes is when I was a seed seller, it was easy for my distribution to go out and sell product 1 and 2 because those were marketed and those were sold through plots and marketing materials. And oftentimes, once those piles ran out, you developed a softness for what you can move. With Field View and what we can do with Yield Analysis Center and the consolidation of data into one place for these operations, is it can help you sell product 3, 4, and 5 with the same degree of confidence that you sold product 1 and 2. So no longer do you have to be limited to what your supply pile looks like, because you can develop for your own geography, for your own farms, your story around 3, 4, and 5 and why those products are worth planting from Renk. I think it changes things and gives us a different opportunity than we've had before. And there will be a little bit of a learning curve here over the summer as we bring in data and you evaluate last year and the year prior yield that I think you can expand upon this fall and move beyond just selling plot winners and helping your customers in a different way, because you've got 3 and 4 years of data right on your iPad to show them why that product works for their farm, their practices, and their soil. So I kind of showed you the different options for field region reports and some of the analysis that can be done in Climate Field View. I want to show you, if we've got enough time here, I want to show you some of the things we can do with advanced scripting. Is anybody currently writing scripts with their customers, or are they being asked for information around scripts from their agronomists their customers work with? Is that something you guys would like to see in this tool?
Sure.
I don't think anybody in our group is currently using that. Kristen, are you?
No,
Okay.
All right. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yep, we're good.
All right. All right. So I jumped over to climate.com, and what I've got here is a Renk script that I started, but I'll go ahead and go to the back. So with Renk products, this is the list of products that we have in your lineup on Climate. any product, and this is available in Pro, any product that has the tested flag has individual product information. So we've got science data from Renk that supports making scripts based on yield by environment and population. And so we can go ahead and plug in this 675 Double Pro, this Drought Guard Double Pro. We can insert the price point on it. We can put our grain price in. Target yield's important to take from years past. That comes with having yield data put in. So it takes 2 years of corn and beans or 2 years of corn for this model to work. And then we can come down here to the bottom and slide our investment scale or our yield focus. What I refer to as my personality index. You have some farmers focused on yield and some farmers focused on cost reduction. And then we can hit next. And as a seed seller, this is where you can differentiate yourself even if a farmer isn't going to plan a script or has the ability to plan a script. So through this tool, we can come in here and edit any of the information on the top header. We can reduce the number of zones. Every time we hit update, this provides us a chance to scenario plan with our farmer. And to come up with a science-based seeding recommendation for their operation. So I can select this. My average right here is 35,000. If I feel like that's too high, I can lower it on that sliding scale, drop it down, and then it still goes through multiple zones. I'm going to go ahead and go forward with that tool. And now we're able to change the base layers. We're able to adjust the scripting population. I will show you here if you're interested. These yield targets here, they aren't so important for what we're doing with advanced scripting, but their true value comes in with what we're doing with subfield nitrogen. And so, again, I'll make sure I show that to you guys. But like Nikki had said earlier, if the highs are too high or the lows are too low, you can come in here to adjust anything that you see fit. If you want to drop the population map or if you want to drop the Sergo map, you can see how your zones interact with the soil underlying or the past performance. So this is advanced scripting. We can export this. I'll go ahead and save this. We can export this in just about any file format that fits the market today, and even including a generic shapefile. So a farmer that is interested in scripting but hasn't done it because it's too expensive or he's not knowledgeable enough, you as the Renk representative or your dealer would be able to walk that farmer through making a script, and it would be science-based along with the full functionality if you wanted to drop check strips or any other type of product evaluation tool in here. That's advanced scripting. What questions do you guys have on the background data or anything regarding that tool? So like I said, farmers have a choice to export it to a thumb drive to execute, or they, with FieldView Cab or My John Deere, can push it straight to their cloud account. I chose to do it on my laptop, but a farmer can build these scripts in their FieldView account, their FieldView app. So there's lots of functionality. I also would say that most farmers find it easy enough to use after a few times that they build out their entire crop plan so that any product they may potentially plant already has a script created, and that allows them the peace of mind to know that no matter where the rain clouds chase them, they've got the right script for the product in their planter. So I do want to point out one thing here. I apologize for moving past it. We use the year of data right here that is entered. We need, like I said, 2 years. But these Renk products that are not tested, that we don't have specific product information for, you can still script these products, and what those use is an average of the relative maturity for all the individual data that we have, just blended and generically used for that recommendation. So it's not product specific, but it is RM specific for the book of hybrids that Climate has access to. So you're still scripting the zones the way we like, but you would want to take time with your seed seller or your agronomist to talk about product placement and specific product placement if you're interested in doing this to the next level. So, but again, we've got a full selection here, so your customers can select just about any product on the marketplace if Renk isn't their exclusive brand. It's just a really nice complement to being able to give farmers, you know, a solution that works beyond just one specific brand family or product class. So,
how does more of Renk seed become more be more? I forget the term you used.
Tested?
Yeah.
So that would occur over time more than likely, and no company has all their products tested. It's probably more a resource limitation. So I don't want to speak out of turn, but from my experience, you know, in the seed business, we would select a portion of our new portfolio or our current portfolio to send to third-party trials and data acquisition, but you wouldn't necessarily send your entire list. And that's just because of resources and investment. So over time, you'll see more of these products come on as tested, but for this year, the list is probably locked down.
So basically, it just comes off of first trials then for the third party?
Nope. You're thinking more marketing trials. These are replicated strip trials, some small plot, some bigger, but the intention of these trials is to identify yield curves and population curves with individual products. So we're looking at like 240, 200, 160 yield environments, and then taking products from 28 to 44 incrementally to try to define their yield curves. That's a pretty basic explanation. It's a little bit more than that, but that's kind of the gist of it. So.
Okay, thanks.
One thing I was going to add, Ryan. Oh.
Go ahead.
One thing I was going to add, Ryan, and maybe you said this, and I missed it. Currently, the advanced scripting is only for corn. We do not do advanced scripting on beans at this time, but we are working towards having that.
Yep, that's true. Yep. So let me show you. Let me show you an application that you guys can use as seed sellers that I would have killed for. Let me. Let me jump back on my iPad and then we'll go over some nitrogen quick. All right, so as seed sellers, who's received the phone call on Sunday afternoon from your best customer and says, "Hey, I'm going to the field. I don't remember what product I was going to plant there. What did you have planned for that product, for that field?" You can scenario plan with your farmer customers and your dealers to use Field View, even if you're only going to use the manual script writer, to use this as a source of tracking and data in one place for you and your farmer customer. So you can come in and select the Renk product that you want them to plant there. And apply it to a field. You could even put multiple products in there and tag them with a history. And what that can do for you is to add some confidence in not only knowing that you have the same data set that they're looking at, but when you go to get that phone call Sunday afternoon, you can be seeing the same list they're looking at and know what products you recommended. Even if you're away from your desk, you can catch your iPhone, take a look, and on Renk Valley, you can know that you planned on that 675 DG. So double pro drought guards going there on Renk Valley. And the guy has a question and you've got an answer with confidence that you know that's what you planned for. And if that farmer has field view, he can be looking at the same information, and it's just one more step towards providing that beginning to end service for that customer that allows Renk to be different in the marketplace than somebody that just plants it where you want to. So I think it just does a nice job of providing beginning to end service, and I know that it would be nice when I was selling seed to know that, my biggest panic moment as a seller was come April 15th and the guy calls and I don't remember where I sold him that corn for. That doesn't feel very good, and this can help eliminate that trouble.
So then does he have to change his screen when he plants different varieties in that field?
Yeah, so that depends on what we're kind of talking about scripting in the monitor. If a farmer doesn't have field view cab in a 2020, then he would have to change his screen in the monitor to change his scripts and to change his product. If a farmer has field view drive in that planting tractor, he would enter his hybrids in his OEM monitor, so his John Deere 2630 perhaps, or his Pro 700, and then he would also, if he had a drive in the machine, he would also enter that into his cab app so that he had on-the-go layer creation. So what I would maybe suggest is if you do find some customers that you're interested in scripting with, we might set something up with the Wisconsin team, and maybe you guys have a team meeting coming up between now and spring, or if there's one thing I could point you to right now, if you're interested in scripting, on the YouTube video, there is a ton of information that you can go ahead and find right now that would show you how to use the tool and what ways to enter scripts and to do scripting more effectively. So go to YouTube, Josh Merriman, if scripting is an interest for you, and you can self-help and kind of get yourself an idea of what that looks like.
And just as a reminder, we can manual script in the Plus version of Pro, right? Or
yep,
Climate.
and I was showing that, and that works for corn and soybeans. So I can go to a field that I don't have any information on. I can click scripts and create a new prescription. And because I know I don't have yield data on there, I can come in here and make different zones and different scripts for this operation. So, and then go through the same export and execution as an advanced script. So this leads me to our next conversation, the nitrogen tool. And for customers that you believe value nitrogen and have variable soils fence row to fence row, I want to show you what we're doing that'll come commercial here in the next 30 to 45 days, is the option for a farmer to be able to see nitrogen in a completely different way. So we'll go back to this Green Valley example. As the product turns on, and this is in beta right now, only available to internal users, the scripts that you have created and selected as primary are the management zones that we use to determine nitrogen. And what this allows us to do is, you can see over here on the left an anhydrous application this spring of 200 units with a seeding rate and a yield target with a forecasted planting date, gives us an opportunity now to look at nitrogen by soil type or by management zone and understand how variable that nitrogen is across the field. So remember this field from our example of not only profitability but yield. So that 200 pounds in this high yield environment shows a deficit. So we can now dig in and view the graph and understand the weather dependent range, because we're still basing this information on forecast. This information can show us where the weather is going to potentially impact nitrogen and show us that at our yield expectation, there's a deficiency that we might want to correct for, or at least have a conversation around. Now, as this yellow vertical line moves to the right, we replace forecast with actual, and things become more clear. So backing up, that's available in beta right now only. So like I said, 30 to 45 days, you'll be able to see that information in season. Currently, this is what you'll be able to see. As mentioned before, if you enter your farmer's background information on past practices and fertility, if you ingest soil data and put in their forecast, you can sit down with a farmer and help them understand based on their current programs. So I can create programs up here and then apply to different fields. I can see how nitrogen reacts differently across my operation and by yield, environment, and area. So this is not a tool to make unit recommendations, but this is a monitor to evaluate the choices that the agronomist and the farmer made together and see how they pan out across their operation. The tool pays off because you, the Renk advisor, and their crop consultant have an opportunity through sharing to watch these fields with them, and where they notice a change with that second set of eyes to help impact a decision or draw attention to something that could be an avoided disaster or negative consequence. So that's the nitrogen tool. That's also, again, like scripting, available in Pro. I did want to show this, and I think we overlooked it unintentionally. Let me jump out and I'll show you what it looks like. Every farm that has an account, every operation that has an account has the ability right now to turn on fields to FieldView Pro for a limited time. So I would execute that option with some of your customers you bring on to Prime. So you can come in here and select Edit Field, and this little blue dot that looks like a pen and notepad. And down here where it says Limited Time Offer, you can turn this field on to Pro and get all the features and benefits of Pro on that field. So you get 2 per account for a farmer and yourself to demonstrate and to practice with these tools. So something else I want to mention, with FieldView Prime, the free option, if you have the yield data, a farmer can ingest all that yield data into their Prime account. They'll be able to visually see the layers of planting and harvest, but they won't be able to interact with it like I did, except for on the fields that they turn this limited time Pro offer onto. So my time's kind of winding down right now. I want to make sure if there's questions, you guys can get them answered. We'll make sure to share the slide deck along with some other resources. Carl, Rick, Rob, anybody have any closing comments or questions that we could address?
Well, I was not aware of the ability to activate Pro for a free trial on a field basis. You know, why wouldn't somebody just sign up for the initial climate and then just do it on a field of theirs? I mean, that
absolutely
is believing.
I would think absolutely I would do that. Like I said, Prime membership for all of your business would be a priority, I believe, and then getting them turned on to these 2 free fields. If you've got the yield data, create an even better experience by letting them see and feel their own information.
Fabulous. I was not aware of that. And that and that free trial lasts throughout the year, I mean all the way through harvest?
It does not. It's kind of vague by design. It really doesn't have a start or an end date that I'm aware of, but we do have it marketed as limited. So I don't want to build the expectation that's going to exist till harvest. It very well might, but we don't have a we've branded it as limited intentionally. I guess put it that way. So
I see.
I don't know when
Okay.
that turns off. So it's a great first step to demonstrate some functionality with the customer, and should they find interest or are willing to invest the $750 to try Plus, I believe for all of your customers, there's $750 worth of imagery available through FieldView, and you tack on what we can do with yield analysis on your plots and understanding the Renk performance advantage. There's a ton of benefit for sellers and farmers to be on this platform with you guys at the 750 mark. And let them experience Pro as you see fit. But that would be my encouragement to you guys as a sales organization, is to link with as many farmers as you possibly can that are in your business, and make this thing a differentiator in the marketplace for yourself. So that's the gist of it. Carl, do you have anything you'd want to add?
I think Carl's doing his expense report on mute.
You know, Ryan, this is Rob here, and thank you for everything this morning. This has been great. There's a lot of moving parts, and if it can be intimidating if you've never been here before. But I think I don't think I know the future is going here. So how do you begin to get that pilot experience? You can saddle up with a key customer and learn together with them throughout this next year. And those that can, I think by the time we hit next year, we'll be a long ways down the road to kind of claim an expertise here. So
yeah, you development one bite at a time.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, this is Carl and Rick. And no, I wasn't. I was on double mute. So I think what I would recommend, and I'll be meeting you guys a lot more frequently as we move forward, but really think about that trial offer as your best of your growers that have plots with you. One thing I've learned with the Climate platform is using as believability. And if you have growers that do demo plots for you already, it's a prime opportunity to put that field onto the trial usage and start untapping the true genetic potential of your products within the Renk brand, and how you can leverage that throughout your Renk territories across state to state, and how to really position those products with these growers moving forward. So, that's a key call out, is this free trial. It'd be a great opportunity to really register those fields that have your demo plots on.
I agree, Carl. There's no reason not to. I mean, it's just the best way to get started. We will be in contact with each of the DSMs. We've allocated some funds to help out with regard to if somebody wants to upgrade up to the Plus. We've got some funds that we can use to be able to help out with that. We'll get information about using this and how much you can use and that sort of thing out in the over the next couple of days here. So look for that email that's going to come out as part of a support from the office. Ryan, thank you very, very much. And Nikki, you as well. This has been very helpful.
No problem. I'm glad to help.
Is anybody that's out in the field now? Any of you guys have any questions at all? I mean, you got a terrific export here that you can ask, and be a good time to do it.
How is this product any different from what John Deere's offering and some of the co-ops are offering? Is it the same thing or is it different?
Same.
Ryan, do you have a comment on that? Did we lose Ryan?
It's the same from what I can see. Our co-op has offered it to our farm.
So others in let me see if I can answer the question. Others in the marketplace, that are affiliated with Monsanto could have the opportunity to offer this as well. What the Deere platform would be different. So.
Hey guys, this is Nikki. Sorry I was on mute, couldn't get off of it there, but yeah, it's same idea, but yeah, there's different things that we offer versus things that they offer, so it does differ a little bit, but same concept, yes.
I think this is Carl. I think the biggest driver between John Deere versus the Climate platform is truly the auto script function of using the Monsanto research pipeline to really have a strong understanding of how the products are performing both in a yield environment and also in a population environment. And just like Rob and Nikki have mentioned, with the retail partners, we do Climate does have some connections with their current platforms.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the biggest difference between John Deere per se and the Climate is really just having that sound germplasm background of all these products.
Yeah, I've had someone describe to me Climate as being a platform to where they want to bring others or allow others to come in and join us so that we make information stream more smoothly between other applications and us. So I've actually heard people say we're hoping or planning to be like an Amazon. Amazon just started with books and now it's progressed into a huge thing where other people can come in and use it and help with their businesses. And so that's kind of where we're wanting Climate to go, is we're just starting out as this platform and here's, things we're offering and we're always going to add to that. But we also know there's other companies out there too that farmers like to use, and we want to be able to help them with that and still, use those companies and move information back and forth to help them make decisions with their operations.
And if I could tag on to Carl's comment about the genetic background material that's being tested, and I think, Nikki, you talked about the Gen 5 planter trials that are incorporated in the background. That's everything to do with soil type, all the analytics behind on-the-go population changes by hybrid pedigree and the like. So we've also as well got ground truthing type research farms and other kind of farm partners that kind of begin to validate some of the logarithm type calculations that go in the background of this thing. So there'll be others in the market that will have a lot of gee whiz, but hopefully this one is a pretty stout management tool before it's all over that really help guys come closer to making money in a tight economy here.
Yep, exactly.
So, Rick, we really thank all you guys for getting on here today, and I think this is just a starting point. Hopefully we've got a recording that we can kick back out to you that others can look at, or again, you can get a second look at some evening when you got time to kind of repeat this process and get a little more fine-tuned on it. But it's one of those things you just kind of got to get in the middle of it and get your hands dirty with it to begin to get more confident with using it. So,
I agree. So, Jake, what is the link that we would use to access the recording?
So that's something we'll have to figure out. We'll have to. I was going to send a MP4 file over. I don't know if we can send it out to everybody. I can send out a download link to you that you could forward on for everybody to download an actual copy of this whole video that they could store on their desktop.
That would be great. Email it to my email address, and then I'll get it out to everyone.
Sure, sounds good. I'll put Rob on there and Carl as well, just to kind of make sure it's going to the right person. And then that link, and I'll kind of put the descriptions in there. That link should be good for, I'll try to make it at least 60 days. And if I'll store a copy as well on my desktop, so if for some reason that link goes bad or, 3-4 months down the road you need another copy, I'll have a backup copy for you as well.
That sounds great. I will try it as soon as I get it and give you some feedback.
Sure. I will try to get that to you hopefully by end of the day tomorrow. Is that okay? Or tomorrow afternoon?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Not a problem.
Okay. Sure.
Thanks all.
Very
Yeah,
good.
thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you, guys. You have a good day.
You bet.
Thank you.